Dun, dun, dun. Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Robyn Carpenter Briscoe, your favorite spiritual life coach. And I am here back in my studio and thrilled to be joining you for this Freedom Day special. Yes, it is Freedom Day, and this is why it is Freedom Day, because today is Juneteenth, and Juneteenth is a national holiday that commemorates the day that freed slaves in Texas actually found out that they were free. So literally the last of the known slaves and slave owners were notified that the people were in fact free and that you cannot own a person and you no longer can claim people as property. So that was the literal Freedom Day. And it is a national holiday, which just happened 2 days ago, which was very exciting, on June 17th, 2021. Because remember, we're talking 18, what is that? It was in 1865 that they found out, and it happened in January of 1863 of Emancipation Proclamation. But it was June of 1865 when the last people were freed. So that was a long time ago. And it's been 20 some plus years since the last national holiday was created. So June 17th, the national holiday, Juneteenth, was created. So that is very exciting and an extraordinarily auspicious day. And we had to interrupt our regularly scheduled conversations to have this one today. And in celebration of that, I want to talk about freedom. So it's Freedom Day. And even if you do not claim your heritage as part of the African diaspora, on this day, you can celebrate your own freedom because everyone, the statement is, we are not free until we are all free. And part of the thing to remember is that even when you are free, do you truly believe you have freedom? Even though you are free, do you truly believe that you have freedom? Yep, I know. That's like the question. That's why I had to interrupt everything to have this conversation. Because here's my thing. People are still incarcerated and made to do work that they don't really want to be doing. And they have essentially their freedom has been taken from them in order to punish them for whatever crimes against the community that they have been accused and found guilty of. I have nothing to say. There's a whole conversation to be had about the criminal justice system. That is not the conversation I want to have today, because that is an idea of taking someone's freedom. The reality is you can never take someone's freedom, because the freedom is what you make of it, right? So if I'm here, one of these days I am going to find the photograph, and it is the photograph that I may use on this recording later. It is a photograph of several Black men it looks like prison. And it's a photograph of all of them standing there. And then there's one man in the middle, and he's got the same prison uniform that everyone else has, but he's done some things with it. And he's got, a scarf on, I believe. And there's a look on his face that says, "You may have put me in prison, but you have not taken my freedom. I am still free to be myself. I am still free to think my own thoughts. I am still free to breathe the breath that is only my breath, that is one with the divine at all times. So even if you have me here, you have actually never taken my freedom." That's what it says on his face. It says all of that on his face. And clearly it's a picture. So it's not a video. It's a picture from maybe the 20s. So yeah. And every time I think about the word freedom and what it really means, I think of this photograph. And one of these days I'll find it. I don't even remember where I saw it. I just never forgot it. So if we really are intending to be actually free, then we have to release ourselves from the metaphysical shackles that we put ourselves in. So when someone can no longer keep you captive in leg irons and with beating and all the things, if that is not a thing, right? So you have the freedom to do what you want and choose where to go and be who you want to be and do the things and go freely out your door and back in your door with the key of your own that belong, like you have all of these different freedoms. There are different levels of what we have available to us. Each one of those things we have the freedom to be able to do. So there's that. Yes. Then each day we have the freedom to arise with the blessing of being able to awaken. And when our eyes open and our lungs are breathing and our limbs are moving and our systems are working, maybe we do a little yoga in celebration and appreciation of being able to live. And then we have the freedom to choose how our day will then be. We have the freedom to decide what our day will be. This is why I'm continually encouraging you to have the understanding that you are illimitable and that you can create whatever life you want, because you have the freedom to do so. You have the freedom to think what thoughts and have the experience as you decide to have it. Everyone's sitting in traffic. Everyone is sitting in traffic. It's still, nothing is moving. Sun is beaming down on everyone in the exact same space. In fact, it's been so long, you have to turn the car off. You can't keep sitting there running the car, wasting, your gas to keep the air conditioning going. So now everyone has to roll down their windows and they're all sitting in the same car, in the same place, having the same elements of experience. And then what happens depends on what you choose. You can rail against the fact that there's nothing moving. You can rail against the fact that it's beaming hot and you're hot and I can't believe how hot it is. And you can rail against the fact that I'm hungry. I have to go to the bathroom. I have blah. There are 1,000 things that could be wrong with that situation. Or you can literally sit in meditation and feel the heat enveloping you and feel yourself being part of it and allowing yourself to hear nature as it goes by and sit in gratitude that you're inside of a car as opposed to sitting out on the sidewalk or out on the pavement. That this opportunity has been given to you to take time and be still. That can also be your experience. And when you have that as your experience, that is freedom. Let's celebrate and commemorate our freedom that we give ourselves every day. There was in the 70s, I feel like it was Marlo Thomas, free to be you and me. I am absolutely a child of the 70s. So there was all kinds of really great things that happened in the 70s that was created around a much more community-oriented space of knowing self and all the things, right? So we were given these opportunities to believe in ourselves in all kinds of really cool ways. Like people were continually creating, particularly children's programming that was around teaching the generation of children that were coming up right at that moment that they could be anything, do anything, believe anything, have anything, that we were all one, that we were all in things together. There was all of this wonderful stuff that happened in the 70s that I'm so grateful to have experienced because I know that it's part of what made me, right? I'm literally getting text messages celebrating Juneteenth right now, live, which I love. So, yeah, it's this magnificent, wonderful thing to understand that you have the freedom to be yourself and you get to decide who that is. What's better than that? Not only do you have that freedom, you actually get to exercise that freedom every day. Here's the thing about this. The freedom is your freedom to be you as your most magnificent, illimitable self. It is also your freedom to not do that and to choose something that doesn't honor you and doesn't celebrate your you as divine source, as you every day. You have the freedom to also not do that. And what that does is dim the beautiful light that you are. It prevents you from experiencing life in all of the fullness and glorious freedom that it can truly be. So even if, as I say, you do not claim any sort of heritage as part of the African diaspora as part of your heritage, you can still celebrate freedom on Freedom Day, because you have the freedom to live as your most glorious, most loving, kindest, magnificent, abundant, generous, confident, courageous, dynamic, illimitable self. You have the freedom to live as that self every day, regardless of your external circumstances. You can always be that person. This is what I want you to understand. You can always be that person regardless of your circumstances. It doesn't matter how small the box. It doesn't matter how many things are preventing physical forward motion. Literally, you can be your most divine, illimitable, creative, courageous, loving self every day, because you choose to be, because you choose to tap into that self every day. You choose to look in the mirror and see the you that I see. The you that I see that is light-filled, shining brightly, glorious in your expression as you. I see that every day, and that is what I want you to see. Yes? Yes. So I have one stone that I want to talk about today. It's malachite. When I was looking up Juneteenth things just to give me inspiration for a stone, one of the things that is the tradition is the Juneteenth flag. So now there are two different flags that people have used. There's the one that was created in 1997, which is red, white, red. It's red and blue. And then there's a big white star like burst in the middle of it. And that is to signify that the actually formerly enslaved persons were all actually Americans as well. And so it was red, white, and blue, which is the American flag. And so the Juneteenth flag was that. There's also the Pan-African flag that is also in use, which is a flag that looks like the regular American flag with the red, white, and blue stripes and everything, except the colors are red, black, and green for the blood that was shed and for the Black people and the soil. And then the green is the prosperity that is Africa. So there are lots of conversations around which flag that whatever. What I really loved was the idea of the green. I'm going to choose the thing that I like, and that's the thing I'm going to celebrate because that's how I am. I love the green, the idea of the abundance that is the African continent, because even if we are not going to, even if you were not going to claim Africa, the African diaspora as part of your heritage, the origin of people starts in Africa, because the oldest being is as a human, what was it? Homo sapien was in Africa. I believe they called her Lucy. So that is where the whole idea that things were so abundant that this new being could emanate from that. And so I love the under all the things that the African continent offers as far as peoples and all the different terrains and the different animals. And I mean, it's Africa, so it's like a huge amount of countries and a huge amount of different things. So I love the idea of that of the prosperity and the abundance. And so I decided to go with that, and that would be a green stone, which is malachite. So you can see at the top of my earring and in the ring that I am wearing. I gotta hold it the right way though. Which has got a lotus blossom on it. But these were actually a gift from a friend of mine from the spiritual center here in Baton Rouge. I love them, Tom. Yay, Tom. But so malachite is the green stone that I decided to choose for today. I focus on my heart center. I treasure the lessons I learn. I find balance within. I feel love for myself and all beings. I choose patterns of love, compassion, and kindness. This stone helps you grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually as you recognize emerging patterns in your life. Malachite helps you connect to life's sweetness. Yes. It helps you get clear when you have many thoughts going round and round in your head. So it helps you just zone in on the goodness that life really is. It helps you just abundance, prosperity, the abundance of all things good. Catherine Ponder. Patterns are lessons that you can use to further your spiritual evolution. So first you have to notice the patterns that are in your life so that you can understand them, navigate them, do what you need to do in order to recognize them as such so that you can create the life that you want. First you have to notice, and then you have to notice what you notice. That's what Reverend Jack always says at Heart and Soul Center Life when for summer school, which is almost happening. I'm so excited. So at Heart and Soul Center of Light in Oakland, we have summer school every year because during the year we have our study. So I'm in the spiritual practitioner licensing program. So I've been studying for 8 years now or something. But so during the year, we have regular classes. And then during the summer, we have summer school. And it's always this one book, one theme that takes us through together. That is really wonderful. And what's really cool about Heart and Soul Summer School is because lots of spiritual centers and churches do some sort of summer something. What's really cool about Heart and Soul is there is a theatrical element to it. So we read a thing, we do a thing, there are lessons, we do group breakouts and all that kind of stuff. Also, there is a play that Reverend Jack Elliott writes that has to do with the lessons that are important to learn. And it's done in a way so that you are simply experiencing this traumatic treatment. And then what he tells you to do is notice what you notice, because something always jumps out at you, right? Things jump out at you. And those are the things that you're, oh man, that thing really hit me, right? And so you notice what you notice, and then you can think about that later and work on that later. And note, so malachite is a stone that helps you notice what you're noticing about the patterns in your life, so that you can pay attention and open up. This helps with relationship building. This helps with, I love this though, that it helps you connect to the sweetness, life's sweetness, right? Because life is this wonderful gift. Every day we get to have it and do it and experience it and believe in it, have faith in ourselves, have faith in the process. Know that if something's supposed to happen, it will, and it will happen at exactly the right moment. I love you. I am grateful for you. I am so grateful to have you here with me. Remember to subscribe if you've never been here with me before and somehow you find me because you're looking for Juneteenth stuff. Then subscribe, because we have some really cool conversations, and I say some stuff and you have some thoughts and things happen. And sometimes I have really cool people here with me. So subscribe, join me. Then you'll never miss an episode. You, my friends, are illimitable. You are illimitable. That means limitation is never a consideration. So go out and create a life that rocks, a life of freedom. Woo! I love you. I will see you next week. Bye.